Hey everybody, I'm Sheila Ryan and I am with Embroidery Designer Mall today. And today I want to show you how to do Redwork designs. And so maybe you haven't done these very much, but it's a beautiful technique. They're quick stitching designs that add a really lovely element to whatever you're putting them on. And I'm making some little towels that are just going to be kind of decorative. I have one that I've made. I'm using the designs from Embroidery Designer Mall by Rudolph Embroidery. And this is a lovely little design that's a color work of a fruit bowl. So he's got several designs in this series of fruit in compote bowls, on platters. And I just thought this was really lovely. I did this sample on linen. This is a linen towel, decorative towel that I made just to be decorative. This is not one of the ones that you'd wash your hands on or, dry your dishes with. This is meant to be like a pretty hanging in your kitchen or, used as somewhat of a table runner or some sort of decoration. These actually look really lovely. This is really just a piece of linen that I stitched myself. And what I did was I traced the size of an actual kitchen towel and hemmed all the edges. And then I added a ruffle with a bit of lace on the bottom. So it's just, and I finished the edge with just a real light overcast seam. So they're super easy, super simple. And I love linen and I love the way it looks when I'm doing things that are a little bit more dressy than just everyday. Of course, our everyday lately is paper plates because we're busy. We have a busy house. But next week, we're going to slow down. We're going to give thanks. We're going to have some family over and decorate a little bit. And so I thought that dressing up the table with the embroidery that I could do would be just a fun way to celebrate. So you can get this design over at Embroidery Designer Mall. If you search Rudolph Embroidery, you can see his lovely sfumato designs. I'm not really sure how to say that, but they're these beautiful designs that are from photographs basically, and they're just really textural and lovely. And then he has a beautiful line of line work designs. There's some sunflower, sunbonnet Sue kind of style, Holly Hobbyish, cute little couples. And then there's these lovely little fruit designs. There's 10 of each, I believe. So there's quite a variety. They stitch up super fast. And I really love the way this stitches out because it stitches out all in one pass and there's not any trimming. There's not any jump stitches to cut. Well, there's a few jump stitches. If your machine cuts them automatically, I did nothing to this after I pulled it off the machine. It was all trimmed and it's ready to go. There's a few things I need to do on the back, but I'm going to walk you through the whole process as we do this on another piece of a fabric that I have. So let me just tell you a little bit about how I did this. And I'm going to check my computer real quick because I'm still testing out the setup. And I just want to make sure I get it right. So I'm going to check over here on my computer and make sure that I can see your comments because I don't want to miss anything if you have any questions. You know what? I think I can do that from my phone. So let me do that. Anyway, I had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun playing with these designs. And so I thought it would be worth it to show you how to do it in case you've never done it before. These designs are really great to stitch on tea towels, of course, or table linens, or even if you were making, you could use this as a centerpiece in your table, like have just a simple, not a quilt, but well, it would be kind of a quilted thing, but like a whole cloth element in the middle of your table. This would be really lovely to put in the corners because it's a larger emblem. This is a 5x7 size design. And so it's big enough to be noticed by people sitting around your table if you have a really large table. And it's elegant enough to give that heirloom texture that we all love with embroidery. So let me double check that you can see me. This one is started. Okay, hold on. It is not showing up here yet on Facebook. So let me double check something really quick. And we need to be here. So let's add this to a Facebook group. That's what I want to do. Let's see if it's going to let me do this in Facebook. It was having some problems getting it to Facebook as well. So let's see. I think we're in. So hello, everybody over on Facebook. It's been a morning. It's been like technology city. My brain hasn't worked well this week. So let's see if I can see us over here. Couldn't load the post. Can't load the post, so it can't see me over in Facebook just yet. If it can't see me, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stream and I will start over. So let's see if we can see anything here at all. Yes, no, I want that to be there. I do want this to be all live and correct, and I may not be able to do that in this group. It's refreshing, so let's see what we get. Am I selling something? No, I'm not selling something. I'm just showing you. And I may not be able to do there it goes. We're in. Okay. Yay, the technology is working. So this is a process. I call it having to be always flexible, Semper Gumby. So anyway, let me start over and tell you what I'm doing. My name is Sheila Ryan, and I'm with Embroidery Designer Mall. And Embroidery Designer Mall is a place where you can find new designers that you maybe haven't been introduced to for embroidery designs. The design that I'm showing you today is by Rudolph Embroidery, and his designs are really, really lovely. They're a very different style than I'm used to stitching before, or that I haven't stitched before. He has a lot of designs that are almost a photographic quality. I think it's called sfumato, and I may not be saying that right. I'm probably not. But it's a beautiful way that embroidery designs from photography have been translated into embroidery with special software and layers. And they're really, really neat, and they're really lovely. He also has some really great redwork designs or line work designs. If you're not familiar with line work, it's kind of a, and actually like an old-fashioned needlework sort of style. And it's very simple outlines, but the way they've been translated for machine embroidery is very interesting because there's some shading and there's details that would be a little bit time consuming and a little bit tedious to do if you were doing it by hand. But we have these amazing embroidery machines, and so we can make incredible designs in a redwork style as if we had done it by hand, so much faster, of course, with our embroidery machine. So I'm going to be stitching out this lovely fruit platter that I've already applied to this linen towel. And this is just a piece of linen that I cut to be the size of a kitchen towel. And I hemmed it on all three edges and then added a ruffle at the bottom with a piece of lace to cover up that seam. And then I took and pressed it and then put the embroidery right in the center of the bottom area. And so I'm going to show you all of the things that I do when I'm doing embroidery on something like a tea towel or a kitchen towel. Of course, you could do this on a larger piece of linen or cotton, or even as like a little quilted thing to go on the center of your Thanksgiving table. These are really lovely elements, and he has these fruit designs as well as some cute kind of country little couples like Sambaratsu or Holly Hoppy, that style. They're very sweet. They would look adorable as little quilt squares if you were making a quilt. They all fit into a 5x7 hoop, so they are very accessible, and anybody with a embroidery machine that has a 5x7 hoop could put those on as well. So I want to make sure I can see your comments, so I'm going to check and see if I can see anybody. If anybody has any questions yet, I don't see anything yet, so that's great. So anyway, I'm really excited to show this to you. So let me tell you what I've done. So I'm going to be using my multi-needle embroidery machine just because it's faster and you don't have to. It's almost twice as fast as my single needle embroidery machine is. So I know we could all watch embroidery machines for days, but it's Friday and we got stuff to do. Kids get out of school early, and then we're getting ready for Thanksgiving and family coming in. And so we've got a lot to do today. So I'm going to use my multi-needle to show you. But like I said, you could do this very easily on a single needle machine. What I'm going to be using is on the back of my embroidery, and I still have mine on here from when I did my sample. I'm going to be using Aqua Magic or Wash Away Stabilizer. Now, this is a washable woven stabilizer. As you can see, it's not the topper kind. It's not the kind that you would use on top of fuzzy fabrics like minky or toweling. It's a very fibrous substance. So this is the brand that I have right here, and I'm kind of tethered by my headphones, so I can't go too far. But this is called Aqua Magic, is the tube that I have. And when I get these tubes, I usually take the label off and put it right back inside the tube, so that when I'm out, as you can see, I'm very close to the end, I can just remember what it is that I bought before. So I stick it in the tube and keep it there for forever until I'm ready to buy a new roll, which I should get on that. Anyway, I've got my piece of Aqua Magic cut. And what I did with this one is actually, in order to save this, because this is a more expensive stabilizer than my regular cutaway or tearaway, is I cut it just to the size it's going to fit the opening of the hoop. And then I actually use masking tape to tape it onto the hoop. I'm using my magnet hoops and I'm floating it on top. I'm not actually hooping the towel at all because I want to avoid any hoop burn or extra creases. Because these are table linens and they're for decoration, I am going to make sure that I press them very well afterwards. I usually don't iron my kitchen towels, but when I'm using them for decoration, then I will go that extra step and I will give them a good press. So, but I am going to tape this onto my hoop in between the magnet pieces, so that it doesn't shift or move very much. It will stay where I want it to. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that my towel is centered on the hoop and that my design is centered in the hoop. If you're running this on a single needle machine, your design should be centered automatically, and all you have to do is line up your towel inside. My machine does not center things automatically, so I'm going to have to double check that. So you'll see the process of doing that. But other than that, that's it. Let's get stitching. So I'm actually going to be stitching on this towel, and I'll just tell you, this is a way that I keep, I kind of economize on my stitch outs, especially when I'm practicing, is that I've already stitched a design on the other end of this towel. So on the end of the towel that doesn't have any designs on it yet, that's where I'm going to be stitching this line work design. And now line work, sometimes it's called Redwork because it would traditionally be stitched with red thread, or blue work if it's stitched with blue thread. I'm going to be using black just for simplicity's sake, and also because this is a gray and white towel and I thought it would look better. Fine, whatever. You are free to use whatever color for the stitching that you'd like. I think on a darker towel, if you use darker linens in your kitchen or at your table, you could certainly do this in white or gold or gray or any color really to match your decor or your place settings. You are free to use whatever color strikes your fancy. So I'm going to be using black on this. And so I'm going to move the camera and make sure that we can see the embroidery machine so that you can watch what I'm doing. In just a minute, while the machine is running, I'll actually help you see the design where you can find this on the Embroidery Designer Mall website. But let's get this set up first really quick. So we are going to move the camera carefully. And I want to make sure that you can see the bed of the embroidery machine. So I'm going to try not to make people dizzy. So just bear with me. I'm going to get this down really close. And I'm going to try to make sure that I don't knock anything over, as I have been prone to do in the past. Okay. We're going to be working like right here. So what I'm going to do real quick is move this down so that I can get to everything that I need to get to. And please let me know if you can still hear me or if I need to adjust something. So I have these are my magnet hoops, and they're just great because they're flat and they're easy to use. And all I'm using the magnet hoop right now for is just to be a base for my stabilizer. So like I said, I could hoop this right now, but with this Aqua Magic type stabilizer, I like to just keep it extra secure. And so I'm going to give it a little bit of masking tape at the four corners just to keep it taut in the frame. I do want it to be tight, but I don't want to have to fiddle with it very much. And so I'm going to tape it to the frame. just to give it some extra stability. This is the kind of stabilizer that I would use for making freestanding lace designs. Now, I would use 2 layers of it for that, but for this, we only need 1 layer. It's a really great stabilizer, and it's very, any embroidery store is going to have it, or quilting store will have it among their selection. It's very widely used, and it's a really great product. So this is the brand from Inspira, but there are lots of other brands that have a line of this aqua woven wash away stabilizer. I don't recommend, when you're doing kitchen linens or towels, I do not recommend using a cutaway stabilizer because there is a lot to cut away and they will affect the way your item feels when you're using it. And so I don't prefer that look. I feel like we're going to go through the trouble to add embroidery, then we need to go through the trouble to use some bright kind of material that'll make our embroidery look the absolute best it can. Okay, so I think I got one more wrinkle over here, and this is an excess amount of tape, but I'm working kind of in an awkward angle, so I'm not quite as nimble as I normally would be. Let's just get that. This is way overkill on the tape because I am going to use the magnet hoop to secure it, and I'm going to do that over here just because I don't have good room right there. Okay. So now my stabilizer is hooped in my frame. I'm going to slide this on. And I did my last one on navy with navy thread. And so this one I'm going to use black for. So I need to go to my black needle. And it is centered in this hoop. But what I need to make sure is that I've got my design. It's going to be centered also where I want it on my towel. So I do like using towels with stripes or lines because I can simply fold it in half and kind of make note of an eyeball. It's right in the middle of this stripe. So I'm going to give it a little crease with my fingers. Just crease that area. And I'm going to put it, you can measure up to make sure and then make a mark on your stabilizer so you can see. But I kind of want the middle to be right about here. So I know that it's about 4 or 5 inches tall. So I think this will be a good kind of area for it to be. And I'm also going to use a tiny bit of 505 spray. Now, I'm using the 505 spray to keep it on the stabilizer. Since I didn't hoop my towel, I want the spray to hold the towel to the stabilizer. If you know where your design is going to stitch, you can definitely pin around the outside or use a basting box. I just didn't set that up this morning. And so because I didn't set it up, I'm going to use the 505 spray here. And I'm going to, this is 505 spray, by the way. It's a temporary adhesive. It doesn't stain. It doesn't have any odor, really. So if you have breathing issues, it doesn't trigger asthma or anything like that. But I'm not going to do that where you can see me because I need to not spray it near my machine. I need to be over here. So I'm going to do that over here off this camera. And I just gave it a little spritz, like just in there. It doesn't take much of 505 spray at all. It actually is a pressure sensitive spray. So a little bitty bit will go a long way. And then you can simply make it stickier actually by pressing on it more. So I've got my design lined up in the center. So here's that center line I was trying to line everything up on. It's in the center of my hoops. And I am just pressing it down well. And of course, you know, a basting box or pins along the outside would be even more security. But I find that this 505 spray actually is really, really nice. And it does a really great job of not adding a lot of extra fussiness. So now I'm going to slide my hoop in and move the rest of my towel out of the way so that it doesn't get caught in the stitching. And then I'm going to, one more time, trace the design to make sure that it's going to stitch only in this area. Okay, so let's do that one more time. I see one place where it's not quite right. And I don't want it to be weird at all. Okay, so I have it on black. And I need to trace the design, the outline, so that it goes, and I can tell where it's going to be stitching. So So mine has a little laser guide, and I can kind of see. Good. So that'll be just about centered. I'm in just the right spot, right where I need to be. Now I'm also not using a topper when I'm doing this for kitchen linens. If your design, if you feel like there's a lot of places where the lines could sink in, you might want to use a topper. I don't recommend using these line work type of designs on something that has a lot of nap or texture to it, like a terry cloth towel. I wouldn't use it on that. But on smooth towels like linen or cotton, or those flour sack towels that are very popular, these are great to use. So I'm going to go ahead and start the design running, and then we'll come over here and chat, and I'll show you where it all is online so we can watch the machine stitch, and I can show you some things on the website. So I'm going to push start, and we'll go. This really is a very quick stitch out. All right, so while that's starting to stitch, I'm going to share my screen. And what I want to share with you is where this design can be found on the Embroidery Designer Mall website. So let me add that right here. Okay, so I think you're able to see I'm at the embroiderydesignermall.com website. Nope, I'm not. Where did I go? Okay, I'm on the embroiderydesignermall.com website, and here's the top. This design that I'm doing specifically is called RE Fruit Color Work number 9. Okay, and it says it's $4.20 right now, but Rudolph Embroidery is one of our designers who has his designs on 20% off right now. So when I purchased the design so I could use it to show you, it came up with 20% off. So I think it was about $360 or $380. So it's a very inexpensive design to use, and it's just really lovely. Okay, we're still stitching away over here. I just want to make sure. But you can see, and let me go through some of his other designs here. He's got the stitching information, like how large it is. So it'll fit in a 5x7 hoop, how many stitches it is, one color. So you don't have to do any thread changes or anything. We don't have to go overboard for our decorating. There are some very simple things that we could do that add just some really lovely touches. So the simple designs, I think, are very, very good. So, and he's got it shown in red, but of course, like I said, I did mine in navy, and then also this one is going in black. So let me show you some of his other designs, though. So let's go down the designers list, and I want to show you some of the other kinds of designs that he has here. So the designs from Rudolph Embroidery, like I said before, he has these gorgeous, look at that. This is just photorealistic designs, and the style is called sfumato, and I'm probably saying that wrong still, but that's okay. It's a photorealistic embroidery process, and they're just lovely, and he's got lots and lots of those. And then, do you see these sweethearts of color work? These are so cute, and I thought that these would be a sweet set of designs that you could use as quilt blocks if you were making an old-fashioned looking quilt or something to decorate and hang on your wall. These are the rest of the fruit color work designs, and look how many variations he has here. So you could outfit your table and your kitchen for the holidays with those beautiful Redwork or fruit color work designs, and with just lots of variety. So I think those would make a lovely set too as a gift if you were needing a hostess gift. Here are some of the other designs that he has, and I believe that if I'm not mistaken, he is actually located in South Africa, and so I love that he's captured so many of the African wild animals on here. This water buffalo is just amazing, and so is this chimpanzee. I think this elephant is really majestic. And these are all, again, they're designs that are going to run well and smoothly because he is a very talented digitizer. And so here are some of his other flower designs, and these are simply amazing. So this is that sfumato style again, where it's almost a photorealistic style. And this is more. You know what, you're still on his page when you see his beautiful, wild, big cat there. And here are some more of those beautiful cats and African animals. I mean, these are just so gorgeous. And I think anything that you're doing that needs that exotic touch to, these designs would be amazing on. So that's just a few of his designs. And if you go to the Embroidery Designer Mall page, you actually will receive 20% off of his designs when you check out. This is neat. There is a collection of all of those little cute sweethearts as well as those fruit color work. So you could get those all for a good set. And again, those would be 20% off. So go check those out over at Embroidery Designer Mall. And let's go back. Let me go back here. And let's check on our stitching. So I think I have talked long enough that we are almost done, actually. Yep, we are just about done. So I actually could keep talking a lot longer, but there's no need to because we're done. I am going to show you how I remove the stabilizer and take care of, you know, all the things that on a tea towel, and how you would care for this when you're done. But here we are. That's it. Okay, I'm going to move my camera again so that I can talk to you and show you what I'm going to do. And I'm going to try to do this without dropping anything again. And I'm going to grab some scissors really quick. Okay, so I have some scissors, and let's see, here I am. Okay, so I can talk to you again. Okay, so I've got the design. I pulled it off my machine, so you can see how lovely that is. I mean, it was super fast, and it's all done, and it looks really great in black. Let's see if I can get a little closer. In black on the light background towel. And I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the hoop. Now, because I use so much tape, I've got a lot of tape everywhere, but we're going to undo that, and I'll get rid of all that tape. I usually don't use that much tape. I just was at a very weird angle trying to work with the camera. So embroidery in real life is not so awkward. Okay. Got most of that tape off. Throw that away. Here's a little bit more. Okay, so what I'm left with is this lot of the wash away, tear away, wash away stabilizer on the back. I'm not going to call it tear away because I don't want to confuse you. It is really wash away. This will completely dissolve and there will be nothing left once it goes through the laundry. So I'm going to trim away as much as I can though. So in the same way that you would trim carefully around it when you're using cutaway, I'm going to trim the rest of the stabilizer away. And so the way I'm holding my design is I'm letting the towel hang away from the stabilizer. I'm holding onto the stabilizer and I'm letting the towel fall down. That way I'm not pulling on the stitches so much. It's very light, but I'm not pulling on the stitching, trying to rip this away. This stabilizer isn't really meant to be ripped away like a tearaway stabilizer. You know, you could kind of pull it away. This is meant to be trimmed away if you don't want to bother your stitching. And then this is all that's left. And so if you wanted to now, you could just wash this again on a simply a soapless or detergent-free load. Just wash it with just water and rinse it. And then you could remove it from the laundry and press it really well. But you're done. That's all you need to do. And so it's just really simple, but very elegant, and it adds a wonderful touch. So I hope that you like that, and I hope that you learned something. There are other great line work designs by other designers at Embroidery Designer Mall. So if you have a chance and you haven't already decorated for the holidays, for your Thanksgiving table or for the celebrations that are coming up for the holiday season, I hope that you look through our designs and find some things that you can use to make your home lovely and to bless your family, to use as hostess gifts. And there are so many designs that we have for you at Embroidery Designer Mall. So please come check them out. And you can see on the website the designers that are offering 20% off right now. So there are some fantastic deals at Embroidery Designer Mall. Thank you all for watching with me. And please let me know if you have any questions at all, and I'd be happy to answer them in the comments in a little bit. Thank you. Thank you all for watching with me. And please let me know if you have any questions